my little butterflies, welcome back to my channel Butterfly MUA. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mercedes. I'm the face behind Butterfly MUA, and if you are new, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and if you're not new, welcome back. So today I'm quite excited, but I don't have a lot of time because we're taking the kids out. It's the last week of summer holidays, so I need to get my arse in gear and get on with this so we can go out. So Number 7 tend to do a thing yearly where they bring out like a special palette for the summertime, and they usually have quite a good offer surrounding it. So I bought one, I think back in 2019, which is this one, which looks disgusting because I've been using it a lot recently, and it's the Maple Glow palette. As you can see, I have used it a lot. I've hit pan on this shade, I'm nearly hitting pan on these. It's a nice little palette. So when I heard that they were bringing out another palette, and I loved this one so much, I was quite excited and intrigued. And I was even more intrigued when it became on special offer, but there was also a twist. So what you had to do was you had to spend, what was it? No, you had to buy 2 number 7 products. So you could have bought the 2 cheapest, like 2 nail varnishes for like £6.50, £7, and only paid like £12 or £14, something like that. Or there was a voucher that I was given, and you could pay £20 on selected number 7, have £10 taken off, but because you would have spent a certain amount and you would have bought 2 products, I got loads for £10. So let me see if I've still got the voucher, because they did give me another one, just so you can see it. So this was the voucher I was given. I got another one when I actually purchased my number 7 stuff. So yeah, save £10 when you spend £20 on number 7. So I spent £20, but because I bought like 2 products which came to £20, I then got this year's Iron Face palette for free, which I think is an amazing deal, and which I'm actually really excited about. So I do have to point out a couple of issues with my face. I have some really dry skin on my nose at the minute, but I don't want to like irritate it and peel it off. So sorry, looks a bit minging, looks like I got fluff or bogies hanging out my nose, but it's not, it's dry skin. And I also have a big breakout on my chin, so hopefully they won't take centre stage. This will. So this is this year's one, and it is the number 7 Bronze Heat Face and Eye palette. So the packaging is actually really pretty, and I've just done a drugstore tag video where I was like, oh yeah, I like this brand because of this, and I like this brand because of this, and I don't like this brand because of this. And I actually said the number 7 brand was the most boring with their packaging. This is actually really nice, but it is floral. See, this is Bronze Heat, and to me, Bronze Heat, it's like sandy beaches and sunshine and not floral. So I kind of do still stand by my number 7 and their weird boring packaging, but I do kind of like it. The only thing I don't really get is the green, because there is not a green in this palette, and I'll show you. But I do actually like this year's theme. So this year you have white, and last time it was black. So they do look quite sleek and sophisticated in that sense, but I do still think number 7 packaging is a little bit boring. But that's not always the thing you should be looking for, because number 7's formula is usually fantastic and I love it, so it doesn't really matter what their packaging looks like per se, as long as the formula inside works well. And excuse the fact that I have false nails but not on these 2. I was wearing like a cone lip ball thing, and it fell off last night, and I was trying to put it back on and I couldn't, so I grabbed a ball one thinking, oh, that'd be a bit easier. It wasn't, so I got so annoyed with the nails because I couldn't reach my lip bar. I ended up just ripping them off. So yeah, half nice nails, half not. I'll just show this half of my hand. So this is the inside of the palette, which, as you can see, the outer packaging, yes, there is an orange and maybe like this beigey colour, but there's no green. I don't understand why there's green. I possibly would have chosen a different sort of packaging, but you know, number 7 are quite old-fashioned in that sense, you know, they love everything floral, so yeah. But I do quite like the look of this palette. It's quite a nice neutral palette. I'd say it's, I don't know how to describe it, I'd say more of a warm toned neutral palette, although this one is not the warmest tone. But you know, it's got 6 eye shades, 2 highlighters, actually look quite stunning. So this is actually worth £25, so with the offer you're getting it for nothing, so you're saving £25. So the products that I actually got to get that, I got one of my favourite primers, which is the Airbrush Away Pore Minimising Primer, and then I got an eyeshadow single. I love purple, so I got this. I have tried it, it's not the most pigmented purple, but it's quite nice if I add it with something else. Like yesterday I wore it and I added the MAC Loose Pigment Powder, I think in Kitschmas, and it looked really pretty, it looked quite stunning, so I do like it, it's nice. So yeah, those were what I got to get this, so hopefully this works well. I'm going to quickly swatch it for you, see what it looks like. Okay, so that is it swatched. This shade is so light, it's so close to my skin tone that you can't see it. The other shades swatch really well. Then we have the 2 highlighters here, which I actually think look quite stunning, but they are really similar to the highlighter shades that you get in this one. So there's this one here and this one here. So yeah, I think they're really similar to the highlight shade you got in this one a couple of years back. So and I do also think they're not the most inclusive shades, so it's definitely for more a lighter skinned lady than a darker skinned lady, which I mean, you could potentially layer it on thicker so it shows up more. You could use them as extra eyeshadows instead of highlighters, but what you could have done is put like a shade for a really light skin tone and then a shade for a really darker skin tone. I mean, this one is quite golden, so it could possibly show up on a darker skin tone, but it doesn't scream inclusivity to me. But it seems a nice little palette, so I'm going to go ahead and try this one just as a bit of highlight on my cheeks. It's quite a powdery formula. Okay, so it's actually quite a nice highlight. It's really pretty, it does show up, but it is quite glittery. Like, I put it on my nose, instantly regretted it and took it off because it just looked like I just puffed a bit of glitter on my nose. But on my cheeks, I actually really like it, and it does look really pretty. Over the top of my blush, it kind of just looks like it's merged into like a pinky sparkly prettiness, so I do actually like that. It is quite a powdery formula, so I think you only need a light hand, especially if you've got like skin in your 30s like me. I think if you apply a lot, it's going to show a lot of texture, but if you just go in with a light hand and just apply a small bit just so you have that glow, it's actually a really nice highlighter, so I do like that. So now I'm going to go in and do some eyeshadow. I have already primed my eyes, so I'm going to go in with this lightest shade first, just to sort of set my eye base. Okay. It's not like one of those shades that's going to really show up on like my skin tone because it is so close to my skin tone. So I then kind of want to go in with this like orange shade. I'm just going to go over the top because obviously that was just to set That's actually quite a decent sort of orange shade. I am having a bit of trouble building it up here, but I've noticed the past few times I've done my eye makeup, I have trouble here on this eye, so I don't know whether it's my skin problem. I do have a lot of hormonal imbalances, so it could just be that I've got a certain oil from my skin there that's not playing ball. But I don't think it's the palette, because the pigmentation seems to be really, really nice everywhere else, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to go in with this other highlight shade and just go above on my brow bone. Oh wow, I picked up quite a lot. That one's actually really pigmented. I thought it would be like the lighter highlight and not pick up. Well, it did pick up, but it's not as in your face. Whereas this one is actually really pigmented. So maybe if you do have a darker skin tone, you could possibly just dig in a bit more and you'll be okay. I think that would actually really show up. Go back in with the orange a bit, because it's kind of taken away the orange. Okay, and then I think I'm going to go in with that metallic shade, which is that metallic shade, and I'm going to just go in with my finger. And then I'm gonna go in with like this golden one, like an inner corner highlight. Pretty. And then I'm gonna go in with this brown shade just under my lash line, just to try and use as many colours as possible. Okay, so a very quick eye look. I know I probably could have done a bit better, but I do quite like this. I'm going to quickly put on some mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Just a little bit of liner on my lash line, on the upper lash line, and some mascara. I use the Maybelline Sky High mascara, actually really liking that at the moment. And I decided to put a bit of lipstick on. So this is the number 7. Oh, I've got hair on me, go away hair. So this is the number 7 Desert Rose lipstick. That is such a good swatch, well done. It's just a really nice nude. It's actually a colour I very much go for, but slightly paler. Like I have the Revolution Times Soap Cake lipstick, which is a bit similar to this, but a bit more pinky. So this one is not as pinky, but I like it. But that's not what we're here to talk about. But I decided to keep the number 7 theme with the lipstick. So let's talk about my final thoughts on the Bronzed Heat, or Bronze Heat palette. I actually really like it. The highlighters actually really shook me. And I do have to say, at the beginning I thought it wasn't that inclusive, but this one actually comes off a lot more darker and pigmented than I first thought. But also the one in this one, which looks really similar in shade, is not as pigmented and as dark as that. That's why I was a bit like, oh, they've put that one in, it's not as inclusive, because in this palette it works, but it's not that vibrant. Whereas in this palette, it is vibrant, and I like it, and I think it could work for a number of skin tones. I mean, obviously, if you have a darker skin tone, you're the judge. You'll be able to say, actually, honey, no, that won't work for me, but it could work for my friend who has this skin tone. So you need to have a play with it. They do have these in store that you can go and have a look at, so whatever your skin tone, go and have a look. Maybe see if you can have a swatch. They are starting to show them off a bit more, and people have swatched them. I have seen finger marks. Obviously, you're not going to know until you look at it, but I think actually, compared to my first thoughts at the beginning of the video, I think it is more inclusive than I first thought it was. This shade is a lot more powdery than this one, and it comes off a bit more glittery, but I like that. It does give a really nice sheen to the skin. It's more of like a glow within than a I sprayed my face with glitter, that kind of glow. The actual eyeshadows I really like. So the mattes are really buildable, they blend out nicely. I know I didn't do the most extravagant look, but I did try to use as many colours as possible. The orange shade I actually really like. It worked really nicely. I like the look I've come up with. Yes, I did use that on my eye as like brow bone. Wow, that was pigmented, and wow, maybe I won't go as heavy on that next time. The metallic shades work really, really well. I can use my finger just to dip in and quickly apply it to the eye. It's kind of like one of those palettes where it's one and done. You can put on a matte, put on a shimmer shade or metallic shade, out the door you go. It's a nice, easy palette. This shade I just used as like a setting shade, like a base shade. You could potentially maybe pastelise that shade with that one. So there's that, you could play around with that. But yeah, I do really like this. At first I was a bit like, I'm not always the best with neutral colour stories. But I like this because you have the orange, there's a pop of colour, so it's not completely neutral. So someone like me who loves colour is not going to get bored. So I do actually really, really like this, and I think if your number 7 store or local Boots with a number 7 inside has this, if you have the money or you have one of the vouchers, go and get it, because I think you will actually really, really like it. I do like the Maple Glow palette, the one from the other year, but I actually think I prefer this one. Like, I like this one because this purpley mauve shade in there is really unique, it's different, I like it, but I think I prefer this one. And the only thing I might consider have changing, because it said Bronze Glow on the packaging and it's called Bronze Glow, I would put bronzer in here somewhere. In the other palette there was a bronzer, a blush and 4 eyeshadows and 2 highlights. So like this row was eyeshadow, this one was something else, and this one was something else. Slightly different layout. I would have worked out a way to put a bronzer in here because it is a Bronze Glow palette. My mind, where's the bronzer? I mean, you could potentially maybe use that, but you know, it's an eyeshadow shape, so trying to get a bigger brush in there to do bronzer, maybe not the best. But if I had to choose a gripe, that would be my only gripe with this one, that maybe you needed a bronzer in there to cohere with the name. So yeah, I do like this. I like the white packaging, I like the formula, I like the colour story, I like the highlights. It's a nice little palette and I love it. So yeah, that is this video done. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about this palette that I haven't answered in this video, please feel free to comment below and I'll get back to you. If you want me to do any other looks with this palette, then shout, because I'm pretty sure I can. I can pretty much do like a brownier eye look than a more orange eye look. But I'm feeling rather summery today, even though the outside British weather is looking windy and gloomy. But you know, I can be the sunshine today. But yeah, really enjoying this. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!